nobody's watching yet. Are you there? It doesn't. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Will is watching.
Hi, Will. We're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening and welcome to Journeys with Judy. I am back in York, Pennsylvania, and today I am here at Journeys Holistic Health and Wellness Center to interview my good friend, Stacey Knosky. We met, we were just talking about it, probably a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half. Here at Journeys, I was coming for sessions with Sally, who you'll meet further down the line. We're gearing her up for an interview as well. But I was coming to her for sessions, and of course Stacey works here, so I was introduced to Stacey, and then we sat in circles together. And now we've been to retreats, and we work in the same establishment. She's not officially called management, but she's management. So Stacey is a licensed massage therapist and so much more. Our interview is going to bring all that out for you. So, Stacey, welcome and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Can I say one thing?
You can say whatever you want.
First things first. Sally, if you're watching, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sally. Mwah. Is that all you wanted to say?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Standard questions. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Safe Harbor, on the other side of the river.
Okay.
In Lancaster County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, near the Safe Harbor Dam.
So you grew up by the water?
I did.
Nice.
Above the Conestoga Creek. They call it the creek.
The creek.
The creek.
Oh, very nice. Do you have any siblings?
I have two brothers, younger brothers.
Both younger?
Yes.
Much younger?
No, like a year and then 3 years.
Okay. Are you still close?
Yes.
Excellent. I love that. How would you describe your childhood?
I would describe it as simple and fun and back to the basics. I grew up in the country. Everything involved around family life and nature. We had our own gardens. My dad was a teacher, like you. So we had the summers free, and he grew up on a farm, so we had our own gardens, and we grew everything. Everything. We had fruit trees, nut trees, and then all the vegetables we grew. My dad was a hunter, so we ate from the earth.
That's awesome.
And I learned how to can and to preserve, make beef jerky,
Cool.
chop wood, stack wood.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you have your own garden now. What is it you like to grow now?
Well, it's kind of a very, very small garden, but tomatoes, peppers, hot peppers, usually put zucchini in, squash, eggplant. You like eggplant? Yeah. Yeah.
Blueberries?
Oh, I have a big,
I was
huge
going to
blueberry
say,
bush.
you had a big batch of blueberries.
Yeah, I have about 6 blueberry bushes. One is a monster.
Wow. Now, do you still do any canning?
I did not this year.
Not this year.
Not this year, but last year I had made salsa. So basically I have a salsa garden. And sometimes I have cucumbers and I'll make pickles.
Okay.
I still have leftover pickles from 2 years ago.
So you didn't grow any more
No.
pickles? Understandably. Now, you have 2 daughters.
I do.
Have you passed that gift on to them?
Well, they're not so anxious in the kitchen,
Okay.
you know, to help in the kitchen. But yeah, they've been around and they've helped, but I don't know if they would have participated from start to finish.
Gotcha. Now, are they a green thumb like you, or no?
No.
Not really? Okay.
Yeah, right now I have an avocado like Jen over there growing. So I have a second one now,
Okay.
growing from the seed.
Cool.
So some of it's experiments. It's just fun.
Excellent. What is your fondest childhood memory?
Well, when we weren't working in the garden, pulling weeds and hoeing, we were playing in the little streams, and we had this swing. It was a rope swing, there was a tulip poplar tree that was huge, and it had these really big branches, and this was a big like nautical rope. It was tied to a limb, and there was a hill, and we would jump on this rope and swing out over this. I guess it was like a gully, and we'd swing back, and then my brother would jump on and swing out and swing back, and we traded jumping on and jumping off.
Oh, cool.
So that was really fun.
It's a little adventurous.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, plus swinging on monkey vines and making forts and reading books up in trees.
Very nature-based.
Oh, and there's near the house, there are 2 wooden, I would call them wooden tabernacles. They're just rows and rows of these pine trees, and it's so quiet and so serene. It's just like being next to God. It's so peaceful. So walking through there, I remember that's a really fond memory. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds
The
amazing.
sunlight filtering through the branches and the trees. Yeah.
How old were you when you left there?
When I went to college, I was still there. I lived at home. I went to Millersville, and I lived there for two years. So I guess it was like 19 or 20.
Wow. That's awesome. And it sounds like you've always had a great appreciation for nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the one in the building that relocates bugs. You don't,
Yeah.
she doesn't kill them, she relocates them.
And take them outside.
Yes. You're very sweet. What was challenging for you as a child?
I think because I was kind of a nature's child, I did have trouble interacting with kids while speaking.
Right. Okay.
And I was more of an observer. I was more of an observer than a participator.
So you like to sit back and watch?
Yeah. And I like to see things from different perspectives.
Okay.
So it's not like I wasn't participating. It was just more on the sidelines, trying to figure things out.
Okay. So you didn't only look at things from your perspective, you tried to put yourself in other people's shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something. You know, I don't think that probably there weren't a lot of kids that thought that way. Because a
No,
lot
I
of
don't
kids
think
are
so.
very, ego-centered.
Right. But, even though I don't feel like I was very good with friends, I mean, I did have friends, but I had trouble speaking. When I went to my 20th year reunion, those were the people that I wanted to see most, the ones from my elementary school. Because we had a one grade or one class per grade.
Okay.
I know it's common now to have 2 and 3 classes per grade, but I had one, and it was with those same kids from 1st grade through 6th grade. So those were the ones that impacted me the most.
Right. Now, okay.
I was very quiet.
I was gonna say-
Very quiet child. Yeah.
Okay, so that transitions right into kind of your preteen years when you went off to middle school. Was that difficult for you? Going from that small group to bam?
That was more like a bam.
Yeah.
I felt like the rug was pulled out from under me. Yeah.
It was a tough adjustment.
It was tough because I felt like I was thrown to the sharks, actually.
Yeah.
Like, if I would have known about shockers then, they would all been blown out.
Yeah.
That first day of school.
That's hard.
I was like, wow.
Were you able to find anyone of your friends that brought you some peace?
I did develop a close friendship with another. I made a new friend.
Excellent.
And she was my best friend through the elementary school years.
Yeah.
Or, middle school years, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So would you say that was your most challenging thing for your teenage years? Was that adjustment?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now what about young adulthood? What did you find most challenging?
Young adult. So, give me an age range.
Well, we'll say high school graduation through college graduation.
I lived at home when I went to college, so I was a commuter student, and that was perfectly fine for me. I did not want to live in the dorms.
No.
Yeah, obviously.
Gee, I wonder why.
That would have been so stressful for me. also cost more money. I was very conscious of spending money because on a teacher's salary back then, teachers really didn't make a lot. I think the first year my dad, he talks about making $5,000 his first year.
Wow.
So I know they've come a long way, even though there's other challenges. But yeah, back then we had to make ends meet.
Did your mom work?
She didn't work until we all started going to elementary school. Then she helped out at the elementary school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the most challenging thing through that time, I guess, was my degree.
And what was that? I was just going to ask, what was your major?
I have my major was physics.
It was what?
Physics. I know, right? But
okay.
inquiring minds want to know.
I hear you.
I was this child with a curiosity that wanted to know how things worked, and that was my answer. A degree in physics.
So physics did it for you.
It was very challenging for my mind too, so it activated my mental capabilities. And I found that I was really good at math. I love that crazy Einstein math. Like, I would drool.
See, you just lost me.
Yeah. I know. I wouldn't be able to do it now, but I still remember.
You just loved it.
I remembered just the fun of just getting the right answer. Like, it was fun.
It fed your soul.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, what do you find most challenging now?
What do I find most challenging now? I was going to say something. I took it back.
Okay.
Well, I do interact well with people, I think, now.
Yeah, you do. No doubt.
I still have trouble, I guess, speaking my truth in relationship.
Okay.
Trouble putting myself first, loving myself, and I'm working on that right now.
Okay. Yes.
I still have that very inquisitive mind. I still want to know all there is to know. I remember in Circle, when I went to the school of spiritual healing. Is that was Katie's school?
Yes, the Pennsylvania School of Spiritual Healing.
Yeah. I remember telling her one time that I wanted to know the one thing, that by knowing that one thing, I would know everything. And she said to me, "Do you know that can't happen?"
It can't?
That's what she said.
That's what she said?
She said that was impossible.
Hmm.
But I'm still searching for that.
Interesting. All right. What jobs have you had up to this point? So you get your degree in physics. Did you work through college?
I did. Well, I worked at the college.
Okay.
So
What did you do?
I worked in office services. I made copies
Okay.
for the teachers or for anybody that would come up to the office, and I delivered the copies to the different departments. So
That's
some
good.
days I would have stacks like this high, carrying them. They gave me this little cart, like a grocery bag cart. I'm like, there's no way I am going through college. College kids looking at me with this cart. So I carried stacks and stacks of stuff up to my nose, and I struggled, but there was no way I was.
You weren't going to use that
No.
cart.
I have a stubborn streak.
No.
Put it that way.
No, you don't. No way. When I was in college, I worked in the cafeteria.
Oh.
That wasn't very nice, but, you know.
So I worked at the college. I worked at Pizza Hut as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was my first rude awakening into how rude people are. People are rude when they're hungry.
Hey. They
No,
tend,
they were
they tend to
mean.
get hangry.
They were really mean.
Yeah, I have a couple of those in my family. When they get hangry, watch out.
But
Yeah.
it's a primal thing too. I understand that now.
Yeah. But it taught you how to relate with people or handle work with people of all different temperaments.
Right.
So, lessons were learned.
Mm-hmm.
And you learned that you did not want to do that any longer.
Exactly. No way. No food industry for me.
No, thank you.
Rachel says, deep truth. People are rude when they're hungry. Preach, Stacey.
Okay, so you get through college.
So then I worked at Wyeth Pharmaceuticals for 15 years.
Where?
Wyeth Pharmaceuticals.
Wyeth?
Wyeth,
Okay.
yeah.
For 15 years?
It was a pharmaceutical company, and I started as a temporary employee, still looking for that, what I thought would be the perfect job for my physics degree. I mean, how are you going to find a physics degree job around here?
Right.
Yeah. I would have loved to work for NASA, like in the space industry.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to like launch satellites, rockets, whatever. That would have been really cool, but that never played out for me. I was very home-based.
Okay.
Like my roots are strongly dug into the soil right here.
Okay.
So I wasn't
you weren't
that
willing to-
adventurous.
Okay.
I wanted to stay close to my family. I did get a job offer in Virginia over the phone. It was Naval Surface Warfare Center. It was in Virginia. I guess it was a naval base,
Mm-hmm.
government base, and they offered me a job over the phone, and I did not take it for two reasons. Because I wasn't ready to move outside of my boundary of my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And the second reason was I did not advocate war
Okay.
and destruction.
Right. So it was a moral conflict for you.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So you stayed local and you worked for a pharmaceutical company. What did you do there?
I started out as a manufacturing technician, and it was fun. I mean, you got to work in the lab with my hands.
Mhm.
So it was doing lab work. It was great. We made bacterial vaccines. So like the tetanus shots
Mhm.
that you guys got as kids. Your kid probably got a shot
Absolutely.
that I made.
That's pretty cool.
Tetanus, diphtheria, cholera, typhoid. It was all very interesting, and a lot of the vaccines that we made, they were injectable vaccines, were for government contracts for third world countries, for some of the troops that would be going over to desolate areas that needed to be vaccinated.
Oh, wow. So the work you were doing was helping people in third world countries.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
was.
That works well with you morally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. So you did that for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I moved around within the company, but yeah, that's where I worked. I thought I would retire from there.
Okay, so what happened at the end of 15 years?
They went through several years of downsizing,
Mm-hmm.
and they closed the plant. So
Okay.
I got severed.
Okay. You got severed. That sounds very severe.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, towards the end, they
like it hurt.
yeah. Well, that's what they called it.
Yeah.
They called it being severed.
Wow.
And at the end, they weren't looking at us as people. We were chairs. Like they would say, we don't know how many chairs will be remaining.
Wow.
So there were waves of layoffs, and I got booted.
Wow.
December.
So they don't
Third.
even. I mean, layoff seems a little more gentle than severed.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Wow, you were severed.
Yeah, it was severed.
Now, were you surprised that it was you?
No,
No, you
no,
kind of
'cause
felt it coming.
we were prepared. Yeah, we all knew when we were going to be out the door.
Oh, did you?
Pretty much. If you weren't a maintenance person, to maintain the buildings, you're pretty sure that
Gotcha.
you're going to get.
So December 3rd.
I think it might have been December. No, it was December 5th, 2003.
Okay.
And then I started massage school in January 2004.
And what made you do that?
Yeah, that was a crazy thing.
I mean, here you are. You got a physics degree. You're looking for answers, and then it's like, oh, I think I'll do massage.
I know, right? Does
Uh-huh.
it make sense?
So, well, hey.
Some of my family is still trying to understand that. Yeah, and change my mind.
Not gonna happen. She's amazing. Okay.
I just started hearing commercials on the radio about massage school, and I'm like, ooh. My grandmother always loved massage. It made her feel so good, and I would rub her shoulders, and it made her happy, and it was like a bond that I had with her, a close bond. She was my special grandma, and I don't know, I just started hearing these things, and Wyeth, because we were being severed,
I don't like that term at all. Jeez.
they were putting money towards an education. So they paid, I think, 80% of education as long as you maintain a certain grade level. It was either 70 or 80%. So I wouldn't have gone if they wouldn't have been paying for a portion of it, because it was like $10,000.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think I would have wanted to put that, knowing that I wasn't going to be making money.
Right.
I want to put the money into doing that. So I just followed my heart instead of my head for once.
That's awesome. Now, what gave you the power to do that? What flipped that switch to, I'm going to follow my heart?
Well, there was that idea of helping people. I felt like I'd be working on the other side of the table, you know, the drug, pharmaceutical, medicine table.
Right.
And also, they made it sound like you could make a lot of money.
So it made sense, right?
It made sense.
Okay.
Plus, there was a school less than a mile away from my house.
There you go.
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity at its best. Okay, so you go to school. How long was massage therapy school?
I went full time. It was 9 months.
Okay. Now, in that 9 months, what did you find? What was the most challenging thing you had to learn? Because you have a physics degree. You have a brilliant mind.
Well, that was then.
Don't say that.
Well, actually, massage school was actually very challenging as well. I mean, we had to learn at the time all the systems of the body in the most intricate detail. I thought I was going to nursing school, actually.
Okay, so you say the systems of the body, and people can blow that over. Tell us some of the systems that you had to learn.
Oh, well, the integumentary system, the skin, the urinary system, the digestive system, the immune system, the respiratory system.
You had to learn them all.
The nervous system.
You have to know how the body works and
Yeah,
functions.
I mean, it was incredible. Like, it just opened up my world to a whole new world.
Yeah. I think people hear massage school and they assume you learn about muscles and those kind of things. They don't, I know for myself, I didn't, you know, people also think being a PE teacher, you just blow a whistle and throw out balls. We were six credits away from having a nursing degree.
Oh, wow. I bet.
You know, we had to learn all those things as well. So, you know, people hear massage therapist, oh, well, they learn how to rub muscles.
Exactly.
No, there is so much more to it.
I know on TV shows, they make them out to be like dumb blondes.
Exactly.
I am a blonde, but yeah.
She's not a dumb blonde. So you have to learn all those systems. And did that ignite a light in your brain?
Oh, absolutely.
That,
and
that made you happy.
It challenged my mind
Good.
in that mental way that I love being able to memorize as much as I can.
Right. And you know. Now you know.
Now I know.
So you went from working in the pharmaceutical field to now working in massage. And do they now group massage as a holistic complementary medicine?
Yes.
Is that how they?
Yes.
So here you are. Two ends of the spectrum. How long have you been doing this work?
14 years.
So you're 1 year shy of matching up your pharmaceutical life.
Yeah.
And
I
how does
think
it
about
feel?
that. It feels really good.
Yeah.
Because when I first started massage, there was the lifespan of a massage therapist at the time was like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
Did we mention she's stubborn?
I'm going to beat that 5-year mark. I'm going to beat it. And then it was raised to 7 years.
I'm going to beat it.
Yeah, I'm still here.
So what's your goal?
Well, do it till my arms fall off, I guess.
Okay. Nice. I like that. Till my arms fall off. Okay. So, massage therapy. You become this massage therapist. You get out. What do you do once you graduate? What was your first move? Where did you work? Did you get private clients? Did you go someplace?
Oh, I worked at a place called Healing Happens, and at the time it was based in West York, across from the fairgrounds on West Market Street.
Okay.
And I learned a lot. There were 2 owners at the time, and Nina Kottkamp and Pam Schemberger, and I learned a lot from both of them. I think that Healing Happens had its 10-year anniversary. It was either 7 or 10 years when I came into it.
Okay. So, were they more of a holistic type
Yes.
environment? Excellent. Now,
Yeah.
what did you learn from them? You said you learned a lot. What are
Well,
some of the
in massage school, you learn the basics.
Mhm.
When you go out into your first couple years of massage and beyond, your clients teach you, especially that first year. You're learning hands-on work. I mean, in massage school, you work on your other classmates.
Right.
But you're limited. A lot of them were young.
Right.
So they don't have many problems. They're healthy. So your clients teach you. And so someone presents with a certain issue, you know, you do what you do what your intuition tells you to do, and then when you end the session and they rebook, you go and you study that.
Right.
You study that condition and learn as much as you can about that so that you can help them even more the next time.
So that right there explains to me why you've done it for so long. Because every day presents you with something new to learn.
Mhm.
And that's what you love.
Mhm. I do.
Excellent. I love that. I love that a lot. At what point did you find energy healing?
I'm not sure how many years. I think it was like seven years I was with Healing Happens. And I had started going to Katie's school.
Okay.
It was a 2-year school. And I went because at the time I was ready to face myself at that level that I was opening up to, face myself, and that's why I went.
Okay.
But I learned, I didn't go for the energy part, but I learned energy work there as well, and I found out that I loved it.
So you went for self-awareness.
I did.
You went to help start healing yourself.
Right.
Okay. And one day you just woke up and said, I gotta work on my shit. Is that what happened? How did you start your spiritual journey?
Wow. You know, I guess, I don't know. I think I've always been this little nature nymph, so I've been spiritual in that sense, but my spiritual journey, I think, began as more of a self-development, self-awareness thing when I was married to a verbally abusive, emotionally abusive husband.
Okay.
And that's where it all kind of started, that inner reflection, that looking inward. What's wrong with me? Yeah.
Okay. So
Developing.
what made you pick the PA School of Spiritual Healing? How did you even hear about it?
know.
How did you even hear about that school?
Well, one of my clients who became a friend, we would talk about angels and talk about books, and she was like, I could just tell she was a soul sister. And she was searching for schools, and she found that school, and she told me about it. I'm like, oh, sounds like something that I want to do. So I went to a circle, an angel circle back then,
Right.
that Katie had. And oh my gosh, that first angel circle, I felt like I was like levitating off my chair just a smidge, you know? Something happened.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that started the whole thing.
Okay, so you're talking about angels. We didn't touch on your religious not so much beliefs, but what you grew up, was religion strong in your home growing up?
Mm-hmm. I grew up Methodist,
Okay.
and the church was half a mile, a quarter mile from the house, so sometimes I walked to church.
Did you enjoy
It was
church?
a small, very small church.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one thing I did not enjoy was that it was me and my two brothers, and then there was another boy, and they would make us go up in front of everybody and sing.
Really?
So me as a young, I guess maybe that's why I closed down
I was
this
gonna say maybe
probably
that's why
like,
you have.
throw away the game. I'm not singing in front of all these people.
Huh.
Well, it wasn't like a huge church. It was very small.
But still.
But still, that was awful for me. Awful.
Wow. Now, is it something that your
Yeah.
parents made you go?
Well, I guess
It was just expected because
we
your family.
went.
And that's
We
what you
just
did.
went. It was something we did.
Now, at what age did you stop going to church?
I still went when I was in college. I actually would go with my neighbor. But then when I moved, I stopped going to church.
Now, was it a conscious decision or just one of those things that you didn't feel like doing anymore?
Yeah, I was kind of. Well, I questioned some things, and I felt it was confining, and I didn't like the structure, the closed structure of it, like
Okay.
just the closed.
Now, have you always been in touch with your angels? Felt connected to them?
I really don't feel connected to my angels.
No.
No.
Do you
But
feel
I like
connected to
angels.
other angels?
Well, I just am fascinated with angels.
Yeah. Okay.
The concept of an angel.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of your guides and your ancestors and the archangels.
Okay.
Although I don't sense them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you find yourself at the PA School of Spiritual Healing. You put yourself in class with Katie Anna. How was that?
It's like, hold on.
I didn't sign up for this.
I know. I think she knew, though. I think she knew I was terrified inside.
And how long were you there?
Well, her school was a 2-year school, and we went weekly. And I liked the weekly classes because it kept me accountable.
Okay.
Accountable on a weekly basis. And I learned so much from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, you know, I'm the observer. I do take in what everybody else is going through and relate it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I took an intuition class. I think that was a year long. There was a trying to get my intuition. There was a mastery class I took, and then I went to a lot of her circles, but then I stopped for a while, and then tried other teachers, just like not working one-on-one with anybody, but reading books and listening to webcasts
Okay.
and that kind of thing.
Now, what modalities have you been trained in along the way?
Hot stone, lomi, polole. I know it sounds fancy.
That does sound very fancy.
It's Hawaiian. There's different. Lomi means laying on of hands, hands on. From what I understand,
Mm-hmm.
what I was taught, polole is Auntie Margaret style, and that's there's different styles of lomi, and this was more of a deep tissue
Okay.
style.
All right.
I learned some neuromuscular therapy, which is trigger points, some myofascial release, lipomassage,
Okay.
reflexology, carpal tunnel, some medical massage for your neck, just lots of stuff.
Lymphatic.
Lymphatic, yeah.
Lymphatic drainage. Reiki. Okay. Anything else? I mean, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a lot of stuff right there.
And then there's the Stacey massage.
Okay, that's what we were going to talk about. What do you call the Stacey massage? It has a name. What is it?
Oh, Stacey's Integrative Massage.
Stacey's Integrative Massage. And what does that entail?
It is everything that I know. It just comes out.
What do you mean it just comes out?
It's, for me, when somebody comes in here and lays on this table, it's a very sacred thing for me to be entered into that space and for people to allow me to touch them in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a journey, and for them to allow me to touch their bodies, it's like them allowing me to touch the totality of who they are at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's like a blessing and so sacred for me. So I feel a huge honor. So part of my massage is I feel like it's an honor.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that comes out in my massage. And I've never said this before, so you've experienced my massage.
I have. And it definitely comes out in her massage.
And when I get, if someone doesn't, have me just focused on, like some people come in, oh, I want just my shoulder fixed, just want you to work neck, back, and shoulders. If I get the opportunity to do a full body, let go type of massage, then I integrate everything that I know, but I also integrate it's like a dance. It's almost like a dance. Like a sacred dance.
That's what I was going to say. It's a sacred dance.
And like I hear the music and it's like a dance on the body. Like you're the fiddle and I'm the bow. And the music is interwoven and all of that. And it's like it comes alive.
Yeah.
And there's the giver and the receiver. But it becomes, the giver becomes the receiver. And the receiver becomes the giver. And so I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's just what happens, and it's really a really neat experience for me. And it's very, even though it is really hard work, I mean, it's very physical work, massage, but it's also relaxing in another way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the environment's relaxing, the music's relaxing, and
It's magical. The massages I have had from Stacey, I simply say, do whatever you want to do. And I lay down and she goes, and it's just, I think the first massage I had with you, I just looked at you and said, I don't have words to describe it. Because it's the physical massaging of your body and that touch, yet there's so much more to it. I felt that on an emotional, spiritual level, I was massaged as well. And you just leave here feeling light and smooth almost. Everything
Thank
feels
you.
smooth.
Smooth. I like
Yeah.
that.
Clint says he'll trade you a portrait reading for a Stacey massage. And Rachel says she's all yes. She needs to book a massage with Stacey.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Rachel Harv.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She's a soul sister too.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that was good. Okay, so speaking of that, people want to book massages. What can they expect when they come here? Because I love the way you greet your clients.
Oh,
Yeah.
with I put a heated warm pack on their neck and shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
It's heated
warm
and
hug.
weighted. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's like a big warm hug.
yeah.
That's how you're greeted.
I bring them back into this room and discuss what they want in their massage, any things that are going on in their life, and get them on the table. I leave the room, of course. And they dress to their comfort level and get under the sheets, and I knock before I come in, and the dance begins. I usually use some hot stones in a massage if somebody likes hot stones, because for me, stones can be very grounding too. Massage is grounding in itself, but the stones, the heated stones for me can provide weight if you're using them as placement stones. I can put them over chakras or in the hands feels really good if you have arthritis. But using them dynamically in motion, for me, I feel like stress is just melting from my muscle tissue. So I like them, but I realize not everybody likes heat. So
I like it.
so I have elements of heat. I also use a hot towel on the back, a wet hot towel. And I do like a stretch and a long myofascial stretch. And one of my clients called that the mudslide. So
The mudslide.
yeah, they call
I
it
like
the
that.
mudslide. They love that, the mudslide.
Yeah.
So I use elements. Oh, I also have a biomat, an amethyst biomat on my table, which is another element of heat, if you like heat. And that provides far infrared light rays and negative ions.
And what does that do?
The far infrared light rays, it's like a sauna. So you're laying on a sauna, and you can use it for different purposes. It's actually a class 2 medical device approved by the FDA.
What does that mean, Stacey?
It means some people can buy it through insurances, may possibly help pay for it.
Oh.
For joint pain and muscle pain.
Huh.
But it has other attributes as well.
So that would be good for people with like chronic pain.
Yeah,
arthritis.
yes. It is really good for that.
Oh,
It
wow.
also helps to improve circulation of your lymphatic and your circulatory system.
And that you always have on your
I do.
table.
You can use it for, it also helps to oxygenate the blood. So you can use it for a detox effect if you want to crank it up the whole way. I mean, it can,
It's pretty hot.
with the blankets on, yeah, you can trap in a lot of heat, and so you can have that sweat
Oh, wow.
effect.
Okay.
So the sauna effect, the detox effect in that way. But the far infrared light rays penetrate into the body 4 to 6 inches, so it's better than a heating pad, which heats you up surface. So it heats basically from the core out.
Oh, wow.
And it helps wiggle the cell wall open so that the cell can perspire, so that toxins can come out through the cell wall and nutrition can come in.
And all that's going on when you're just laying here getting your awesome massage, you know?
exactly.
You don't even know that's going on.
No.
That's fantastic. Wow. Okay.
Yes, I have these layers of
Yeah, you
healing.
do. Holy moly.
And then sometimes I do like weaving over the body.
So yet another modality you have. So when you get in here and you start the dance with your client, what's guiding you through that?
I just do it.
You just do it. Would that maybe be intuition? Guidance from something?
Yeah,
Maybe your angels?
probably.
So maybe there is a connection there.
Yeah, when I'm in this room, when I'm doing my work,
You're connected.
I feel connected.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Okay, now that's not it though. Stacey offers even more. Talk to us about your essential oils.
Oh, of course. I use
You're not a one-show pony.
I use essential oils. There's multiple uses for essential oils. There's scent, of course, which can impact the limbic system and the emotional system. There's also therapeutic benefit. A lot of essential oils are antifungal, antibacterial. The list goes on and on. They, analgesics, increase circulation.
Okay, so is that something do you go by intuition with that, or do you?
Yeah,
Is it-
intuition.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way when you're face down, you drop one right underneath your little face. Well, I don't even know what that's called. I should know.
Face cradle.
The face cradle.
Yeah.
There you go. The face cradle. I should know what that's called. But she drops this little cotton ball filled with a beautiful scent right on, and it's like heavenly. Oh my
I
gosh.
usually use either peppermint or eucalyptus or a combination to help breathe, because when people are face down, sinuses tend to run
Yeah.
forward. Gravity takes over and runs them forward, and you can get stuffy.
You're so
So.
smart. You're so smart. You think of everything. It's amazing. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about your biomat. Okay. How do you wrap up a session? We kind of went through. Is there any ceremonial way you close? Is how it's being worded.
Oh. Well, I guess there is an ending that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it can change though. There's
Of course.
different endings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. But there is a way. You're just not like tap them and done.
No, I tend to rock the body because rocking is very soothing and it can.
Yeah, my rock your body. Anyway, go ahead.
It can induce entrainment, which what I think my massage does in general.
You have to tell me what entrainment is.
Let's see.
Sorry.
I think some people tell me that like they go into this no man's land, like this zone, like they're aware but they're not. So I feel like I get them into that sweet spot,
Okay.
that gap. So it's almost like that gap between breaths or that meditative spot where you just let go.
Okay.
So entrainment is a rhythmical, like,
Something similar to Twilight, or no?
I don't know what Twilight is, but
I consider Twilight kind of like I'm aware of what's going on, yet am I sleeping? I don't know.
yeah,
Kind of
I
like
guess,
that.
yeah.
I know. I just get on your table. I just lose every. I don't know. I don't want to say everything goes dark because it doesn't go dark. I see beautiful colors and things like that, but I am completely and totally relaxed. And anything that was on my mind when I came in is gone. Yeah, it's I get totally encased in being here and being present and being grateful for you sharing the gifts.
So I can either rock, I use a lot of figure eights, which is, the infinity sign.
Mm-hmm.
I love the infinity sign, the lemma skate.
Mm-hmm.
Even in belly dance, I've taken belly dance lessons. So like when you do the figure eights with your hips,
Mm-hmm.
someone told me it was called radiant circuits, and I just thought, wow, that is really cool.
That is cool.
Radiant circuits. So I do radiant circuits. Yeah, and I always end with my hands at the top of the spine and the bottom of the spine,
Mm-hmm.
and I do a back and forth motion usually, and I say thank you because it's a blessing and an honor.
That's awesome.
And I leave the room and I say, take your time.
And an hour later, and she comes back and says, "You really got to get up, Judy. I got another client coming in." No, it is a beautiful dance. There's no doubt, and you can definitely feel that you are passionate about what you do, and that your goal is to help in any way you can your client. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, don't think you can get away with just throwing belly dancing out there. How long you been a belly dancer?
Well, I haven't done it for years. I don't know. I started, it was when I started, my kids were in middle school, I think, and I started for the first time since they were born doing something for me. I was bound and determined. I got to do something for me. So there was a class offered through the community courier. I think it was just at the school district, like an 8-week class. And I just, it was another one of those things. I followed my heart instead of my head. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know.
I love
So
it.
I went, and there were all ages there. There were, old grandmas there, and younger kids there, and then me in the middle. And I just was, I don't know, there was something about it, and I liked the depth. The teacher that I had explained things to such a depth, like the movements, it's not easy, and it's a lot of core work. So I just like that aspect of it too, that there was
You like to be challenged in
depth
anything you do.
to it. Yeah.
It would seem.
Yeah. So I started following that teacher, and she started teaching in a regular class. So I followed her for a couple years, and then we just kind of fizzled out
Okay.
for a couple of years, probably for 3 or 4 years.
So, do you think there's any chance of maybe getting a belly dancing class going here at Journeys?
Possibly.
Possibly. If there's anybody out there interested in a belly dancing class, she knows somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and
Frankie. Her name is Frankie.
maybe we can bring Frankie here.
Yeah, in
Host
fact,
an event.
one of my belly dance friends, we were getting together. We reached out to Frankie, and we actually had one class that we taught here. Well, it was just the 3 of us.
Right.
We were just the 3 of us having fun.
Just dancing around.
And yeah, and we only met once. We were gonna do it like every other week, but it was over the summer, and you know, things got busy. Somebody couldn't come this week, somebody couldn't come that week, so we just kind of gave up on it.
All right. Well, if people out there have an interest, let us know. You know. Well, Stacey is always willing to help, and if you all want belly dancing, she'll bring you belly dancing here at Journeys. You know somebody. You don't have to run the class. That's okay. You can run it together. Co-teaching. It's a thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There was something else I was going to ask you. Your kids. How do your kids feel about your energy work?
Olivia she's my youngest. I would practice on her. She's all open to everything, and she could really feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's definitely a believer in it all. Emily is more analytical and more like my science side.
Right.
So she's not so
Open?
open to it, but she'd be willing to try.
Okay.
But Olivia definitely, yeah.
That's pretty, and you have 2 girls, and one of them is very much like your science side, the other one is very much like your energy side. That's
Right,
cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I split myself.
Yeah, there they are. Now, both of your girls are college age now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's right. Your youngest just went off to college. How are you doing with empty nest?
Well, you know, I was preparing myself for an entire year. Like a year ago, I went through this breakdown, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
You
I
just knew it was
finally
coming.
realized, oh my gosh, my baby's going to go to college. And her and I are really close. And she still holds my arm. She holds my arm like this all the time when we're walking, wherever we're walking. She doesn't care.
I was the geek that would hold my mother's hand in the mall when we were walking through the
Yeah.
mall. Didn't matter how old I was.
Yeah, so that's her.
You doing okay?
It took me, I prepared myself for an entire year. So when it finally happened, and I did have a little meltdown when we were in Walmart the day before I took her to move in. Because I all of a sudden realized, oh my gosh, this is my last shopping trip with her before she's, kind of becomes a new person.
I was gonna say, she's gonna come back a different person.
Yeah, so I kind of had a little meltdown. We were looking at cards. I hid it from her. We were looking at cards for birthdays in my family, and I turned to her and gave her this one card, and she looked and she saw a tear in my eye, and she's like, oh. And she wiped it from my eye. I'm like, I can't help it. And I turned away. But that was my little baby meltdown, and the day that we moved her in was very exhausting, and it was just busy with packing everything up and putting it in place, and it was a lot of physical work and getting things lined up for her. And then when we left, she was holding my hand, holding my arm, walking out, and we saw another mother-daughter in a hug, and it looked like that was a tearful goodbye. And she looked at me, she's like, Mom, you're not gonna do that, are you? I'm like, no.
Oh, let me get to the car.
I had my meltdown yesterday, so I said, you're safe, you're good. So
Excellent.
that was that. And actually, it has been easy, actually. I mean, I feel a hole in the fabric of life at home, but she's close by, and And, you know, she's only a phone call away or a text away. It's not like when I went to school.
That's what
You
I was
know,
gonna say.
Kids who went away to college had to share a phone down the hall of the dorm, you
Yes.
know, and you got like
In the hall,
5
there's
minutes.
no privacy. There's
Right.
Yeah.
5 minutes and you could be calling on a party line, who knows,
When
back then.
yeah, when I went away to school, they told the parents that you don't let your kid call home for 2 weeks. So that was eye-opening for me. My family loves to joke about how I was pretty much catatonic for the first 2 weeks of college. Couldn't believe my parents left me there. But, you know, I quickly fell into the groove. But yeah, it was different, you know, when you didn't have that instant texting or something like that, and that.
Yeah, and nobody told me not to contact her, but I chose not to because I wanted her to get into her own groove and
Her
I
reach
let
out to
her
you.
reach out to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a great plan.
Yeah.
You're such a smarty. You're such a smarty.
Must be my intuition.
Exactly. See? Okay, so you did great.
Did I?
You did awesome. See? This was fun,
Yeah,
right?
it was.
See? Okay, how can someone book an appointment with you?
They can call me on my cell phone. Call or text me 717-629-1909 or contact the office here. I don't know the number offhand.
Yeah, I don't know the number offhand either. Yeah, that's your direct number.
881-0833.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sure Jen has posted your website, the Journey's website, because she's awesome at what she does. She's the one that makes it all happen. Do you have any last words of wisdom for people out there beginning, struggling through their spiritual journey right now?
Well, I do post something here in my room that I look at when I'm massaging, right here. There are many things in life that will catch your eye, but only a few that will catch your heart. Pursue those. I think that's a good one.
That's a great one. You definitely followed your heart. Look at where you are now. So many people are blessed by what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Jen, do we have any questions?
No questions.
Nope. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. Stacey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, I was so surprised when she said yes, just because she doesn't like to talk so much. So it was awesome. When I got here and you weren't here, I was thinking, oh, I hope she doesn't back out. Just a little part of it. Then I was like, oh, it's only 7:13. She has 2 minutes.
I have 2 minutes.
You have 2 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great night.
Thank
and we
you.
Don't forget to be awesome.
Happy birthday, Sally.
Happy birthday, Sally. We love you.
It doesn't want me to go.
It doesn't. It loves you.